If you have ever poured Drano down a clogged drain, watched it clear, and then had the same drain clog again 6 weeks later, you were not dealing with a stubborn plumbing problem. You were dealing with a product that was never designed to permanently solve it. There is a powder that costs under $1 per treatment that dissolves drain clogs at the molecular level, not by attacking the clog with corrosive chemistry and hoping the mass shifts far enough down the pipe to restore flow, but by digesting the organic material that forms the clog and converting it into water and carbon dioxide that flush away harmlessly. Hair, grease, soap scum, and the black biofilm coating the inside of every drain pipe in your home. All of it is organic matter, and naturally occurring bacteria produce enzymes that eat all of it, thoroughly, without toxic chemicals and without damaging a single inch of your plumbing in the process. Professional plumbers, charge between $100 and $500 to snake a clogged drain. The Drano and liquid plumber market generates over $2 billion annually. Neither the plumber with the snake nor the bottle of sodium hydroxide on the hardware store shelf addresses the biological foundation that makes the clog reform within weeks. The bioenzymatic powder does, for under $1 per treatment. That is the calculation the plumbing and drain cleaner industries need you to never make. If these stories matter to you, hit subscribe and the bell. New band knowledge drops every week. Now let me take you back to where this industry began. The year is 1923, and a man named Harry Drackett is working in his garage in Cincinnati mixing sodium hydroxide, industrial lye, with aluminum shavings and sodium nitrate. When poured into a clogged drain, the lye reacts violently with water, generating intense heat and caustic force that dissolves organic blockages on contact. Drackett calls his product Drano and begins selling it door to door. It works. Fast, visibly, dramatically. But it has a fundamental design limitation that nobody advertises. Sodium hydroxide attacks the organic material in the clog, but it does not remove the biofilm layer coating the pipe walls beneath. The living bacterial matrix of proteins and polysaccharides that serves as the foundation every new clog builds on top of. The clog dissolves, water flows, and within weeks the biofilm begins accumulating new hair, grease, and soap scum on the same pipe wall surfaces it never left. The clog reforms. You buy another bottle. From 1960 through the 1980s, Drano ran the advertising slogan once a week in every drain. Think about what that slogan is actually selling. Not a solution to a problem. A weekly subscription to a temporary fix. Liquid Plumber, manufactured by Clorox, uses bleach-based chemistry that oxidizes the surface layer of a clog but cannot penetrate the dense core of compacted hair, grease, and biofilm. Together, these two products dominate the consumer drain cleaner market. Not because they solve the problem most effectively, but because their limitations guarantee repeat purchase. Bristol-Myers acquired the Drackett Company in 1965, and S.C. Johnson bought the entire brand in 1992. The corporate chain changed, but the formula barely did. Sodium hydroxide remained the primary active ingredient across every ownership transition. What also remained unchanged was the fundamental design principle, a product that clears clogs fast enough to satisfy the customer, but not completely enough to prevent the next service purchase. Now, let me show you the biology that exposes why both products fail at the same point, and why the bioenzymatic alternative succeeds where they cannot. Every household drain pipe develops a layer of biofilm on its interior walls within weeks of installation. Biofilm is a living colony of bacteria, proteins, and polysaccharides, a biological adhesive that bonds to pipe surfaces and creates the sticky substrate that traps everything flowing past it. Hair tangles in biofilm instead of washing through. Grease solidifies against biofilm instead of flowing downstream. Soap scum bonds to biofilm instead of rinsing away. Drano dissolves whatever accumulates on top of the biofilm but leaves the biofilm layer intact. The pipe clears temporarily because the mass of accumulated material above the biofilm dissolves. But the biofilm immediately begins collecting new material, and the clog rebuilds from the same foundation in the same location within weeks. The bioenzymatic approach is fundamentally different. Bacillus bacteria, naturally occurring soil organisms, produce 4 categories of enzymes when they encounter organic matter. Protease breaks down proteins, the structural component of hair and soap scum. Lipase breaks down fats and grease, the solidified cooking and body oil coating your kitchen and bathroom pipes. Amylase breaks down starch compounds and food waste. Cellulase breaks down plant-based organic material. When you pour bioenzymatic powder into a drain and give it overnight contact time, the bacteria activate, reproduce, and begin producing these enzymes against every organic surface they contact. The hair dissolves, the grease metabolizes, the soap scum breaks down, and critically, the biofilm layer itself is consumed because biofilm is organic matter and these bacteria eat organic matter. The bacteria then colonize the cleaned pipe wall surfaces, forming a competing beneficial biofilm that continues digesting new organic material as it enters the drain. Hair that falls into the shower drain gets broken down before it can tangle and accumulate. Grease from dish soap gets metabolized before it can solidify against the pipe wall. The result is not just a cleared clog, it is a pipe that actively resists the formation of new clogs as long as the bacterial colony is maintained with a monthly treatment costing pennies. This is not a slow degradation. Bacillus bacteria reproduce rapidly under ideal conditions, doubling their population in as little as 20 minutes when organic material is abundant. The enzyme production accelerates as the colony grows, meaning that cleaning action becomes more aggressive over the first several hours rather than tapering off like a chemical reaction. This self-amplifying biological process is why overnight contact time produces results that a 30-minute chemical treatment cannot replicate regardless of concentration. Before going further, here are the honest limitations because your specific situation matters. Bioenzymatic drain cleaners work exclusively on organic clogs, hair, grease, soap scum, food waste, and biofilm. They do not dissolve mineral scale from hard water accumulation, which requires an acidic treatment like citric acid. They do not clear tree roots that have intruded into a sewer line. They cannot remove a physical object that has fallen into the drain. For severely compacted clogs that have been building for years, 3 consecutive overnight treatments may be needed before full flow is restored. This is not a 5-minute chemical fix. And hot water immediately after application kills the bacteria before they can establish. Always flush with warm, not boiling water, and avoid using the treated drain for at least 6 to 8 hours after application. For active severe blockages, a mechanical snake clears the physical mass first, then bioenzymatic treatment prevents recurrence. The two approaches work together. Now, here's exactly what to buy and exactly what to do. Look for products labeled bioenzymatic drain cleaner or bacterial drain cleaner. Not just enzyme cleaner, because pure enzyme products without live bacteria do not self-replicate or colonize pipe walls and require more frequent application. Confirm that the ingredient list includes bacterial cultures or Bacillus strains as the active component. Reliable products include BioClean, Green Gobbler enzyme, drain cleaner, and numerous unbranded generic options available at hardware stores and online for 50 cents to $1 per treatment. Oh, avoid any product whose primary ingredient is sodium hydroxide, sulfuric acid, or bleach. These are chemical cleaners, not bioenzymatic products, regardless of any green marketing language on the label. For the initial treatment of a slow or partially clogged drain, pour the recommended dose, typically 1 to 2 tablespoons of powder, directly into the drain opening. Run a small amount of warm water to carry the product into the P-trap, which is the curved section of pipe directly below the drain opening where most clogs concentrate. Do not use that drain for a minimum of 6 to 8 hours. Overnight is ideal. The bacteria require uninterrupted contact time to activate, reproduce, and begin digesting the organic material. In the morning, flush with warm water and observe the flow improvement. For severe clogs that have been building for years, repeat the overnight treatment for 3 consecutive nights to allow the bacterial colony to fully establish and consume the accumulated mass. Once the drain flows freely, apply 1 tablespoon of bioenzymatic powder once per month as preventive maintenance. This replenishes the bacterial colony and ensures new organic material is continuously consumed before it can accumulate into a future clog. Total monthly maintenance cost for every drain in a typical home is under $1. A homeowner in Arizona switched to monthly bioenzymatic maintenance after paying for 4 plumber drain clearing visits over 2 years at an average of $220 each. In the 18 months following her first bioenzymatic treatment, she had 0 drain service calls. Her annual drain maintenance cost dropped from over $400 to under $12. The plumber, who had been clearing her drains, had never once mentioned bioenzymatic powder across 4 paid visits. Now here is the economic reality that explains why. The United States plumbing service industry generates approximately $170 billion in annual revenue. Drain clearing alone represents a significant portion of residential service calls. A plumber who uses a mechanical snake to clear your drain solves the immediate mechanical problem, but does not address the biofilm foundation, which means the clog rebuilds and you call again in weeks or months. That recurring service cycle is not accidental negligence. It is the economic model of residential drain service. A plumber who explains bioenzymatic maintenance to you loses that recurring revenue permanently. Not temporarily, permanently, because monthly bioenzymatic treatment prevents the clogs that generate service calls. No business voluntarily eliminates its own recurring revenue. The chemical drain cleaner industry operates on the same principle. Drano and Liquid Plumber are not formulated to permanently solve drain clogs. They are formulated to provide fast, visible results that satisfy you long enough to leave the store before the clog returns. The $2 billion drain cleaner market depends entirely on organic clogs returning predictably within weeks to months of each treatment. Bioenzymatic products receive virtually no mainstream advertising, no eye-level shelf placement, and no recommendation from any company with a recurring revenue model to protect. The drain cleaner aisle at any hardware store reflects this priority perfectly. Drano and Liquid Plumber occupy the top 2 shelf positions at eye level in virtually every major retailer. Bioenzymatic products, when they appear at all, sit on the bottom shelf in plain packaging with no brand recognition and no advertising behind them. The shelf placement is not random. Retailers allocate eye-level shelf space based on marketing spend. Companies that spend millions on advertising get the top shelf. A $1 powder with no advertising budget gets the bottom shelf. The result is that most American homeowners have never seen a bioenzymatic drain product, have never been told it exists, and continue purchasing the products designed to require repurchase. The powder that prevents the clog from ever reforming generates $1 of revenue per month. The products designed to treat the symptom temporarily generate $2 billion per year. The biofilm layer inside your pipes has been there since the day your plumbing was installed. Every bottle of Drano you have ever poured treated what was sitting on top of it without touching it. The bacteria in a $1 bag of bioenzymatic powder eat the biofilm itself. That distinction is the entire reason one approach generates $2 billion per year, and the other sits in an unlabeled bag on the bottom shelf. The biofilm has been there since the day your plumbing was installed, collecting every clog that ever formed. $1 of bacteria eats the foundation. No drain cleaner on any store shelf at any price has ever done that. If this vault opens something for you today, subscribe and share this video now. Every share puts a $1 permanent drain solution in the hands of someone still paying $200 for a service call that solves the same problem for 6 weeks. Every subscription keeps this channel digging into the vaults they thought were sealed forever. The next vault opens soon.